Hello and welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. My name's Jasonnewland and my website's jasonnewland.com. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. Just to let you know that as well as being on this video for YouTube, as well as also podcasts on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, pretty much most of the main, or all of the main podcast apps. This podcast is available. And please only listen or watch this video when you can safely close your eyes. Now, those new to this podcast, just a brief description of what this is. To start with, it's just me talking. Not very exciting, but it's not supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be, well, as the title says, let me bore you to sleep. The title could also be let me bore you into relaxation. Or let me keep you company and bore you at the same time. So people listen to this for different reasons. And a squeaky desk time, can you hear that? Oh, I don't know why I went, ugh. So basically, I just talk for about an hour about pretty much nothing. Talk about my life. I got a weird thing underneath my fingernail. What's that about? Easily distracted. Blimey, okay, I don't know what that is. So, yeah, so that's what it is. I've been starting to make more regular videos now. So I did one yesterday. The camera actually cut off halfway through, but I managed to salvage the video. So it's a much shorter video than it is audio, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so that's it. I just talk. It's not supposed to be interesting. It's just an opportunity to allow your mind to slow down, for your body to relax, and maybe you're listening to this in bed and you'll just drift off to sleep. Or maybe you're sitting down in a comfortable chair that supports your body and just listening or watching in order to relax. So whatever the reason that you're listening or watching this, thank you for joining me. This is, I can't remember what number this is, but it's over 900 episodes of this podcast. And I also do 4 versions of each episode, one without music. And that's the one that I publish as a video, as well as on my podcast. Then there's one with background music, one 5-hour version with background music, as well as like counting down and positive affirmations, things like that. And then there's a 10-hour version which is a kind of the same thing, and they're only available on the podcasts. So yeah, that was a boring introduction, wasn't it? I don't want to be doing long introductions like that really, but every now and then it's worth it, because with the YouTube, I'm getting more subscribers on YouTube, and new people are listening or watching the videos that haven't before. There's new people listening to the podcasts that haven't before. So it's every now and then it's possibly a good idea to do kind of an introduction. But I don't do that every time because it's beyond boring. It's even for me, it's, oh, yeah, wow, I've been doing this since 2018. The first episode of this podcast was in March 2018, and now there's 918 episodes or whatever. I don't know how many. I lose track. So, yeah, that's it. So I hope you're well. It's a bit overcast. I've got the lights on because I need them on for the video. But even before I started the video, and it's only 1:51 in the afternoon, I had to have the light on in the room because it's so dark. I mean, literally, I was trying to put the power cord into the camera, and I couldn't see. And unfortunately, it's black. Everything, the cord's black, the camera's black. But I couldn't see to put it in. It's not a very big adapter. But still, I should be able to see during the day. But I couldn't. I couldn't see, man. So what's the latest? I guess the latest for me, really, and it's a little bit tedious, and not for me, but it's a little bit boring for people to listen to because I've spoken about it probably too much. So, so I will focus on one thing and do it for days and days and days. So in effect, I'm not really doing anything different, which means I got nothing to talk about. But then I've never got anything to talk about. And I don't know how, I still managed to do an hour a day. And the other day I did a 2-hour recording, didn't even realize that I'd done 2 hours. And now, just as we're doing this, someone's about to knock on the door. Yep. I think. Any second. Let me see. Nope. I just checked to see if anyone was at the door. Nothing. So that was annoying because that's going to give me another 10-20 minutes of editing to do. It's not easy to do the editing to splice because I've got the audio and the video separate, and to splice them together, cutting out bits. And I spent about an hour and a half earlier editing like a 9-minute video. It's all right. I mean, I'm getting the hang of it, but I never used to edit it. Honestly, I used to just film stuff on my camera, or my phone rather, and just upload. as is. And people still watch them. And I still got subscribers. I don't think I get away with it now. I think there's a certain minimum expectation when it comes to videos on YouTube. The very, very minimum is to have basic editing. You know, where you kind of, I don't know, just the minimal, which is kind of what I do. However, I'm going to look into doing some thumbnails. Oh yeah, I know, exciting stuff. But you know, we'll see. I will do. I'm going to look into that. But everything in time. You know, I can't do everything all at once. You know, I'm promoting the videos, the videos on YouTube. I'm promoting the podcasts. So I've got all that advertising going on. I've got then I'm making the videos and I'm making the MP, you know, the podcasts and editing, and it is quite time consuming. For those that have never done it, you may be surprised at how long it takes to put it all together. I mean, the setting up's not too difficult if you've got a workstation where everything's already set up. Now, I've got this table here. There's a desk. And I don't use it for anything else other than to make audios or videos. So this is everything here. There's a recording studio there. The Zoom Live Track 8, whatever it's called. Microphone set up here. And that's all got the iCloud and everything all connected into the Live Track 8. I've got my headphones, and then I've got the tripod with the camera. So everything's kind of, and I've got the light there, and a light over there, and a light up there. So everything's kind of together. The background is a proper mess. There's bits everywhere. It's just all really messy, very messy. But I could probably get a back screen, and if I could do that. I'm not at the moment, but I might in the future. But at the same time, I don't want to make it too sterile. You know, if I have like a blue screen behind me, and then, or green screen, and then just add, I don't know, just a background color that's nice. It's sterile. It's almost like having a setup with and recording myself with a white wall behind me. Yeah, it looks clean, but there's that almost, I don't know, like a hospital feel to it, you know, like you know, that hospital smell it's a bit too clean for me, and I'm anything but clean. I don't like cleanliness. I don't know why I said that. It's not true. Well, I do wash my hands at least once a month. That's enough. So, yeah, this is just, I'm still getting used to doing the videos. It is a bit weird. And you might think, oh, why is it weird? Especially if you know me from the past and you were watching my videos a decade ago, which some people have been. I had quite a break from doing videos. And one of the benefits of making audio only is, well, you're not being filmed. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. So I can sit here in my underpants or my dressing gown or in the nud, you know, it doesn't matter. Or dressed up as Santa. I mean, the Easter Bunny or a bask. I mean, it doesn't. No one's gonna know. Well, normally I would actually tell people, but they might not believe me. But it's much easier to just make a recording. It's easier, the editing's quicker, and it can all be done in 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. A recording is recorded, uploaded, edited, and distributed and released on the podcasts. Within 2.5 hours, it's available for people to listen. Videos, not so much. And even the uploading, because the files are big. They're very big files, very large. So I don't know if anyone, I'm sure a lot of people watching this or listening to this have made videos in the past, but there's also going to be many people that have never even thought about doing it or wouldn't even want to. Why would you want to? Why do I want to? Well, there's a few reasons. It just seems to make sense that I think YouTube is a different audience to podcasts. There's crossover, of course, and there's some people, and not different as in different types of people, just some people prefer to watch a video, some people prefer to listen to an audio. It's a personal choice. So to cover both angles, which, to be fair, I always did, from day dot, really, I kind of did both. I would make a video, but it was more focused on the video and the podcast was secondary. Right, I got a phone call. I got this, I've been phoned consistently. 761. Yeah, basically, I'm being phoned. Hello?
Hi, it's Jason.
Yeah, hi. Who's calling, please?
Hi, it's just Maddie from Sky. You okay today?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
Good, glad to hear that. I can see here that you're scheduled a call back from one of my colleagues. Was you aware of that? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of something at the moment.
Oh, no problem. I can always arrange another call back.
Any time really, but just to, at the moment, this week I'm kind of a bit in the middle of it.
Okay, I can do a weekday between 6 and 7. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. It's just I'm changing my toilet and stuff. But yeah, that's all right. So so I just have to get that cleaned. But if you in next week is fine if that's okay.
No problem. I'll do a weekday then between 6 and 7.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, take care.
Bye. Yeah, love you. They're trying to sell me a contract for television. Not a television, but for a I don't know, streaming television. And I'd take it, but I don't want a contract. I don't really want to be locked into a contract for 18 months. But they're offering a really, really cheap deal. But I don't really want to be locked into a contract. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's true. It's no lie. So yeah, they've been phoning me every day for about 10 days. I might have exaggerated that, but it's been at least a week. Every day in the afternoon, I've had a missed call from them. And they're persistent. give them that. But I'm just going to check. Have I got any messages? Have I got any messages that I can read out? No. Oh yeah, I did get a message. Here's one. This is from Minnie. Okay, this is from Minnie, and it was posted on my website, and it says, "Where are you?" Is this a new thing? Is this a new joke that people are doing on me? Because I mentioned that I got a message from someone saying, "Where are you?" And now people are going to start going to my website and just sending me messages, "Where are you?" Just randomly. Like, I don't know. It's hard to answer. I mean, I could give the country. Maybe that's what they want to know. Maybe someone's listened to me and they're trying to figure out what my accent is. They might think, am I Australian, or am I from, I don't know, South Africa, or am I Scottish, or am I Wales-ish? You know, that maybe they don't know, because not everybody can tell an accent. I mean, some people do think, they listen to an English person, they think they're from Australia. Now, you know, we speak the same language, very different accent. Very, very different. Oh, yes. Good day, mate. I spent a while with some Australians recently. Not in Australia, and of course there's going to be different accents depending on what part of Australia they're from. But they all sound Australian. Then that's the weird thing about it, because if you heard someone talking from the north of England, the accent is so different. So someone from Newcastle or Manchester, the accent is miles away, miles and miles away from someone that lives, that's kind of has a London or a southern accent. There isn't really a London accent anymore. There's people in their 70s and 60s they've got a London accent, like the old accent. And there's a few young people that have kept it going by talking like their parents. But the London accent is very much changed. It's transformed into something a bit different, as I'm sure most accents do over time. But there was a time when, you know, there was a proper London, "What, mate? You alright?" You know, just a certain type of accent, especially like in East London, but even in South London, like North London, it was where I was born. It didn't really sound that much different from East London. And I don't think South London really sounds that much different either, personally, like the old accent. But there are differences, I'm sure. But even like places like souther away from London, like just 50 miles away, people have got different accents. You know, like, "Wait, I'm going downtown, down the field, I got a farm," and talk like that, and always you, and there's very different accents. So that's southern. So even southern is very broad, but northern is, again, it's different. You got northern, you got Manchester, but I can't do a Manchester accent, but it's very different from. So Manchester accent is quite similar quite similar to Liverpool accent, but not quite as strong. It is different, but the Liverpool accent is very, very, very strong accent, just like the Newcastle, their accent, really strong. If someone's born in Newcastle and lives there for the first 20 years of their life, doesn't matter where they go in the world, their accent will probably never change. They will have to learn to speak slower and to speak clearer, just like anybody does if you go somewhere new. You know, if they come to the south, just like if I went to Newcastle, I talk slowly anyway, but if someone that spoke quickly, they'd have to speak slower in order for someone else to be able to understand, to process what they're saying, and speaking clearer. Because my observation, this is just an observation, is that a lot of people mumble. They mumble. I've even seen it on YouTube when people say their names. Oh, welcome to, my name is Tony Sateri, and just it's like, you've not even pronounced your, okay, people say I pronounce my name wrong. My name, however I pronounce it, is the right way to pronounce it. If I say my name is Jasonnewland, then that's how it's pronounced, because it's my name. I decide how it's pronounced. But I can't insist on anyone else pronouncing it that way, because life isn't like that. Damn it. I'd change it every day if it was. But so I'm quite amazed at how many people on YouTube they mumble their own name, or they spit. And it's not a bee in my bonnet, but I just struggle with how quickly people talk on YouTube. I know that I'm probably one of the slowest talkers on YouTube. I'm not in no hurry, if I'm honest. I'm not in a hurry to get the words out. However, I can put sentences together without having to edit every third word. Like that. And some sentences just start before the other one's even finished. I just film the whole thing. The only editing I do is I'll probably do it. I'll do it with when I went to the front door, so you won't have that bit in the video or the audio. Probably I will edit it out because it's only 10 seconds, but it's irrelevant, and also I don't want that bit in, because I get up and you can see my big bum knocking over all the desks and everything. So yeah, there must be some kind of reason why there's on a YouTube video there's no pauses. There's hardly any pauses between words or sentences. Sometimes there is a little bit, but it's almost like you've got to get everything packed in fast motion. And I don't really understand why, because I watch videos for knowledge, to research, so I use YouTube for that. A bit of entertainment as well, but generally that's the thing. I like to watch lectures. I like to learn stuff. So people that have experts on YouTube and the algorithms and promotion and stuff, I like to watch those videos so I can learn something. and maybe put that knowledge to use for my own purposes. But I'll be sitting there, and this person on the YouTube channel, the video, what they're saying is really good, and I really want to listen and I want to watch it, and they're just going 100 miles an hour. No pauses. There is pauses, but they cut them out, you can see. And sometimes like not 3 words of a sentence, and they won't allow any. Maybe they're doing a video and they go and and ah a lot, which I probably do, but I leave it in. I don't care. So, I mean, I don't know if people read a script, have a script ready for a video. I'd never had a script in my life. I just talk from my brain, what's left of it. I just chatter. But then you don't need a script for this kind of thing. But even when I do the hypnosis recordings, the most I'll do is know beforehand kind of what I'm going to focus on, and then, see. So if I think, okay, well, I'm going to do a pain relief recording, hypnosis recording, and I'm going to have the body as a jigsaw puzzle, and the part of the body where the person has a chronic pain, take those parts of the jigsaw out, and then get another jigsaw puzzle, exactly the same, but this one is of someone with no pain in their lower back at all, or maybe you at an earlier age, whatever, yeah? And just swap those bits around. So put those healthy, non-pain, relaxing bits into that bit. I've just made this up on the spot. I'm pretty impressed with myself. So I and then you'll feel different. Like, oh, not sure why, but I feel a bit different. So anyway, that's as an example. I might have the idea in my mind, jigsaw puzzle. But even then, I might change it, because even when I first started talking about jigsaw puzzle, just then, it was going to be different to how it ended up. I got itchy balls. So I don't use that, but I'm thinking, do YouTubers, because I want to learn from them, because these are popular people, people that have, and also there's that puts a lot of pressure on people, because are young people watching YouTube thinking that everyone speaks perfectly without any stuttering or tripping over their own words, or pauses, or running out of things to say, or not being able to think of the correct word? Because that's unrealistic. It's natural. So anyone's listening to this or watching this, if you do believe by watching YouTube videos that that's how people should be talking, no, not should be, but that's not natural. It's natural to not know what to say next. Sometimes we're humans, isn't it? It's natural to stutter. I stutter sometimes. I've got a lisp sometimes. It comes and goes. I do. Sometimes I whistle when I talk. Probably because I've got about 2 teeth left. I haven't, but I did have 2 teeth removed 2 weeks ago. Doesn't hurt anymore now. It does when I poke my nail in, but then all parts of my mouth hurt when I do that. It took 2 weeks and probably, was that for 15, 16, 17, about 17 days, 16 to 17 days for my mouth to heal after having the 2 teeth out. Now it's fine. It's sensitive because there's no teeth there. And it's just gum. I'm a gummy man, just gummy. I would show you, but it's just gross. Who wants to look into someone else's mouth? It's like, I look into my mouth, then you can look up your nose. I'll do it up the nose shot. No one wants that. No, no, it's grim. So yeah, I remember this woman. She was on Manager, and I'm not going to say anything bad about her, but I've got loads to say, but I won't say it. But she told me that her son had a stutter, and she took him to a speech specialist, and the speech specialist said to her that she may be the cause of the stutter. And she didn't understand. She never was that bright, I don't think, but she didn't understand. And he explained, he said, you talk too fast. She talked so fast, like probably 4 times faster than I'm talking now. Like, blah, blah, blah. But then she'd ask him a question and expect an immediate answer. So he'd stutter. He'd, come on, then what's your answer? What's your answer? Like that. And it caused him to have a stutter, which is it's obviously caused by nerves, caused by him because his dad was much, well, not slow, but a lot slower than his mum. I knew his dad. I knew both parents, unfortunately, but I knew his dad. It was just like a friend of mine years ago. So his dad was very calm, very relaxed, slow, not slow talker, but like very, he said what he meant. It was ex-forces. So he didn't waste words. He kind of said what he meant, and he meant what he said. The opposite to me, where I just talk a lot of rubbish. So, but she would honestly 1,000 miles an hour, which I think it was something wrong with her. Probably there was something wrong with her. She had some issues. Bit of a bully. Let's leave it there. But but that was interesting. That it wasn't her fault that she spoke fast. It was just the way she spoke. So it wasn't her fault that he had a stutter. It was no one's fault. No one to blame for that. But see, you can be responsible without being to blame, can't you? I mean, I know people love blaming, don't they? There's a real blame culture, and it's always been there since I've been born. The amount of times I've heard, whose fault is that then? Who's to blame for that then? And, right from a child all the way up. I mean, people don't say it to me now because I don't allow it, but it took me years to get out of that mentality myself. The blame mentality. I had it. I was brought up by it, so it's part of me. It's hard. It takes time to get rid of those ridiculous traits that we're brought up with. And I'm quite lucky that I've been able to do it. I think I've got rid of most of my annoying traits on my own now, I think. And I've got lots. I had to introduce new ones. I do. Sometimes I introduce new ones just to see how annoying I can be. Not really. I used to purposely be annoying when I was younger. When I was in my 20s, I used to really go out my way to annoy people. Not in a horrible way, more in a humorous way. But I was just entertaining myself. I was bored. I was just trying to just make the day go a bit more interesting, make it go a bit quicker, maybe have a laugh, you know. I had a lot of really remedial, low-paid, low-brained jobs when I was in my 20s and in my 30s. I mean, in my 40s and in my teens. So yeah, I had about 4 decades of it, and 4 decades, 20s, 30s, 40s, 4 different decades. Isn't that weird? So I was working in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. So 4 different decades. Blimey. And I'm only 23. Stone. No, I'm not 23 stone. You can see I'm not 23 stone, blimey. I mean, I don't know if I look slim on camera. I'm not. But I definitely ain't 23 stone. You can see when someone's absolutely huge. Generally. Well, not always. There's a boxer called Joe Joyce, and he doesn't look big. He's a giant of a man, but he doesn't look like a giant until he's in the ring next to his opponent, or when he's standing next to someone. But if he's standing just on his own, and I was standing next to him, but I'd have to, let's say if I was on a really, really high stool, because he's like 6'6" and I'm 5'8", so there's a big, there's quite a lot of difference. That's over 20 centimeters. And you would see how different. I'd probably look like a little boy next to him because he's so big. I don't know what my point was there, but I just wanted to talk about Joe Joyce. Make sure the recording's still going. I wanted to talk about Joe Joyce. He's one of my favourite boxers. And part of the reason I like him is he's really nice. He's a nice bloke. He's an artist as well as being a boxer. And he boxes because he likes it. He enjoys getting in the ring and beating people up. But he doesn't want to do that outside the ring. He's a gentle painter. He loves art, and that's what he does in his spare time when he's not training for fights. And it's just such a contrast. And he's also, he's got something weird. He's got a superpower. I don't know why. I don't know how he's got it, but he gets punched with punches that would knock pretty much 99% of boxers onto their bums. Yeah, he takes punches like that and just blinks, just like nothing. Like, honestly, it's like hitting a truck, big truck with a little plastic hammer. That is a really bad analogy. And I actually spent time inside my head thinking that one up. I was going to think it was like being hit by a flea. But then how could you get hit by a flea? Unless the flea banged into you, but they don't normally work like that, do they? They're more hoppy than hitty. Not that I'm an expert on fleas. Yeah, I just like it. I like him, Joe Joyce. And apparently he's got his skull is something like 7 times thicker than the average human, or 4 times thicker, or something. It's really got a thick skull, the density. But it's not only his skull, I mean his jaw, his face. But the weird thing about it is he had a fight, it is quite a few years back, before he turned professional, where he was knocked down twice within the first round, like probably the first punch nearly, and he was knocked down on his bum, got up, knocked down again, and the referee stopped it. Now that isn't the Joe Joyce that I see in the ring. Maybe he just had a real off day. But having someone punch him, and if you didn't know Joe Joyce, if you didn't know him, if you've never seen him before and you see him for the first time, some of his fights you'd think he's going to get knocked out, because this other fighter keeps hitting him with these really big shots, and it's only a matter of time before he goes down. Doesn't happen. He just keeps coming forward, and he says that he only really defends himself if it's against someone that's good, that he respects. And it's like, wow. And the last fight he had was against Joseph Parker. This was a few weeks ago, and he did defend himself against him. Joseph Parker. So I find it funny, because if you go on YouTube and just check it out, Joe Joyce, and then if you put in Joseph Parker, or just put in any fight from Joe Joyce, the last few fights he's had, he takes a hell of a lot of punches to his face and just nothing. And he keeps moving forward. And his nickname is the Juggernaut, because that's what he does. He keeps coming forward. And then he hits the other person, and eventually he knocks them out. I think nearly everybody's been knocked out by him, because they get worn down. And he fought Joseph Parker, and Joseph Parker's by far the best fighter he's fought. Joseph Parker's a very, very good, and he's also former world champion. He's a very good fighter, and he's better now than he was before. He's a harder puncher now than he was before, because he's now being trained by, I forget his name, Sugar Hill, who trains the Bronx style of boxing, like Bronx as in America, and that's all about knocking the other guy out. It's not about skill. It's not about being boxed and outpointing them. It's about knocking them out. And the fight before this, Joseph Parker, I think it was against Dillian White. He really, really was hitting Dillian White hard, proper. It's the most vicious I've seen him, until he fought Joe Joyce. Too many Joes. I'm going to start calling him Peter. I'm going to start naming people, giving people different names. You can be Peter and you can be Paul. No, we've got our own names. Why are you giving us new names for? Well, Luke didn't mind. Yeah, but Luke goes, what was wrong with Stephen? His name is Stephen. Why did you call him Luke? Listen, Luke didn't complain. Matthew didn't complain. Yeah, Matthew never complains. He's happy because everyone now calls him Matty or Matt. Why would anyone want to be called Matt? That's something you stand on, isn't it? That's something you wipe your feet on before you go into your house. That's what a mat is. Oh yeah. Anyway, Joseph Parker, he threw some of the biggest punches he's ever thrown, and they just bounced off of Joe Joyce. Didn't wobble him, didn't affect him at all, and he kept coming forward. And Joseph Parker was... at the end, he got knocked out. And at the end of the fight, you looked at the two people, and not a mark. There was a little bit of reddening. Around Joe Joyce's eye. Just a little bit. Isn't it weird? I'm talking about two people called Joe, and I couldn't remember his first name then. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen him fight Tyson Fury. But you know what? I'll tell you who I'd like to see him fight. I want to see him fight Deontay Wilder. Because Wilder, biggest puncher in the heavyweight division. Joe Joyce, the best chin in the heavyweight division. Bar none. I mean, I think Alexander Usyk has got a good chin. But at the same time, he fought Anthony Joshua twice, and both times he came out of it the winner on points, but his face was messed up. So, you know, his manager said that he couldn't beat Tyson Fury, but he'd like to fight him. It's in an interview, said he knows he can never beat him, but he would like to fight him to unify the titles. And the interviewer said, well, why would he want to fight Tyson Fury if he can't beat him? He said, no, you don't understand. He can never beat him, physically beat him up. He can win on points. That's the only thing he can do. He'll never be able to knock Tyson Fury out or hurt him. Doesn't have the physical capacity. It's not big enough. Because he's come from being from being a cruiserweight to being and he's a very small heavyweight compared to some of the giants that are there. I mean, he's not really, to be fair, he's probably about my weight. So he's not, he might even be lighter than me. So it's probably about maybe my weight, a bit lighter. So he's not a heavy heavyweight. Because, I'm 15.5 stone. Some of the heavyweights like 17, 18, 20 stone, some of them. 19 stone. I think Tyson Fury is 19. I think Joe Joyce is about 18 stone. Anthony Joshua is about 17 stone. I mean, these are huge men. But they're also really, really tall. I mean, if I was this weight, if I was this size, and I was 6'6", I'd also be 19 stone. You know, but I'm only 4'3". The problem is, it's okay. So if it's really windy, the wind can't affect me. But if I do happen to fall over, I can't get up. Because you know that whole thing about weebles wobble but they don't fall down? It's not true. I'm a weeble and I can fall down, and I have done a few times. Well, it should be weebles wobble and they do fall down and they can't get up again. But it's not as catchy, is it? Now, some people might think, what are you talking about? What do you mean weebles wobble but they don't fall down? What's a weeble? If you don't know, there's no point me explaining it. You know, it's like me saying, what is it? Remember the Kinder adverts? Mealy belly bee, what is it? Remember he's like looking over the wall. Kinder surprise, Kinder winker. What was it? What did they say? There was it, but anyway, the Kinder Surprise advert. If you've never seen it, or do you remember, what was it, that advert with that, was it a rabbit or a goldfish or whatever with a motorbike? And they did a song and everything, I think. Oh. Hello?
Hello, this is Danny calling from Anglian Water. Is this Jason?
Yeah, it is, yeah, hi.
I'm just looking to book an appointment for a water meter exchange.
Yeah, okay.
Is there any days in particular that are good for you?
When were you looking to come?
I'm just bringing up my dates now.
Right, what do you mean by water exchange?
So the water meter you have at the moment was put in 2013. They have a life cycle of 10 years, so by yeah.
Yeah, because it's the one in the bathroom, is it?
Needs to be exchanged.
Yeah.
So I'm actually in the bathroom.
Yeah, cool. That's fine.
I've got Thursday the 17th of November. Would that be okay?
Can you do it the following week? Is that all right?
Yeah, I can do Wednesday the 23rd of November.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you able to send me a text or something just to confirm it?
Yeah, you should get an email across.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay.
Have you got my email address, have you?
Yes, it's jasonnewland@hotmail.com.
Oh, yeah, cool. That's fine. That's great.
Okay.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I'm getting nothing but phone calls today. That was the water company wanting to change the water meter in my bathroom. So he said, oh, I don't know if you heard any of that. He said, you've got it was 2014 or something it was put in, or 13, so it needs to be changed every 10 years. Why don't you phone me back in a year then? It's not 10 years yet. But it don't matter. You've got to let these people do what they've got to do, innit, really? Without making too much fuss. I don't want them in my house, but there you go. Oh, listen, I got a message here saying, this is from Curry's, yeah? This is a electrical store. You have won a Samsung TV. This is to my inbox, my email inbox. So go on there. The thing is, it's got www.currys.co.uk. Now, on a phone, you can't see where it's come from. So they want, obviously me to click on it and give my personal details and find a way to extort money or information from me. That's the problem with mobile phones, is because they don't show, even on the internet on phones, they don't show the address. They don't show the proper address of the website as you get on laptops, or you should get on laptops, should show you the address so you can see whether or not it's fake. Because there is a way of doing it. I clicked on a bit of it and it showed that it wasn't. It says Currys, but then I clicked on the Currys thing and it goes WABFHUTHKKHYB. That's not. It's just dodgy. And I don't what. There should be some kind of, I don't know, life sentencing for people like that. Just get them off the planet. Just con people. People, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like people like that. And I know that it's not necessarily like one person, focusing on me, and it's just it's probably a computer system that just puts it all together and sends. And they buy the email addresses probably from Facebook or from someone that's got millions upon millions of email addresses. So they buy them and then they just send out all this crap to people in the hope that they'll click on it and I mean, I remember one I had, and I went on to it. I just ordered something from YouTube. No, from Amazon. Just ordered something from Amazon, literally minutes before, and I received an email address saying, we couldn't process your payment. And there was an official Amazon looking email. We couldn't process your payment. Please click here and re-put in, log in again. No, it wasn't real. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. I am going. I promise. I am. Any minute. Any minute now. Any minute. I'm just waiting for my door to knock. I'm on edge thinking my door's going to get knocked on any second. Because I'm expecting someone to knock on my door. But no one's knocked yet. Anyway. So, do you remember to be kind to yourself and be gentle with yourself? And next recording, I'll try not to take phone calls during. But I thought that second phone call was an important one. But it wasn't. Well, I guess it was for them. Alright, take care of yourselves. Ta-ra for now. Ta-ra.